What's up? This is your man Lil D, a.k.a. Rap Monster, back off in the building with another one-on-one interview. Notice I didn't say music interview. Today we got something different for you guys. We got an author and a writer, Norman Colson, in the house. What's going on, boss?
What's up? What y'all doing? What you doing, man?
Can't complain. No, still above the water. Let the people know where you calling from, what you got going on, and where they can find you online.
All right. My name is Norman Colson. I'm from Queens, New York. And, you know, I'm a writer, author, novelist, entrepreneur. I do everything. I make comic books. Trying to do cartoons right now. And I recently wrote a book, and it's on Amazon.com. It just got released today, matter of fact. I checked last night. Amazon released it. They published it real quick over the 3-day, deal, because usually when you publish a book, it takes 3 days for process. But they published it last night. So it's on sale right now, and it's called Afion and Nuba.
Okay. Let them know where they can find you at online one more time. Never can do that enough.
Okay. I do have an Instagram. I got Twitter. You can find me on Twitter at just put Twitter at Norman R. Colson, and it should pop up. Instagram is Norman Colson Official. And my Facebook, I have a Facebook. You can just put Norman R. Colson, and that should pop right up. Okay.
And where did you say we could buy your product again? One more time for that. Where can we buy your product? Amazon.com, anywhere else?
Amazon at Amazon.com officially right now. Right now I'm working with. I'm trying to get it converted into iTunes, and then Audible. Also Tableau, because the digital process is different than a regular printing process, so it takes time for that. But the digital version should be coming out later on in a month. But the regular copy right now is on Amazon.com. You can pick it up there.
Okay. What kind of genre of book writing are you into?
I'm into everything. I mean, I'm primarily into action, adventure, and sci-fi, but for this book, I switched it to a fantasy setting, really. Like, the idea just hit me, and I just wanted to write this book, And I just sat down and I wrote it, like, within 4 or 5 days, and I just slammed it out in, like, 4 or 5 days, like 190 pages. Bang.
Okay. Is this your first book, or?
It's, this would be probably my third book, in a way. Like, I was under contract with, a minor publishing company a long time ago, so that was done, and then I finally started writing again. So this is like my second published book.
Okay. I'm always curious as to what writers were like in school. What were you like in school?
Oh man, well, kind of nerdy, I guess you could put it that way. I was more introverted, nerdy. But I was like the intelligent kid in the class, but like too smart for my own good. Like a lot of times I got bored at school. Like I just knew so much that I just got bored. And I was like, if I was in class, like the teacher would be like saying something, and I'd just be like, why do I have to learn this shit? It's boring. It's boring. I got bored real fast,
Yeah.
Well, I hated math though. Math was horrible. Ugh.
I don't like math either. When I'm working on trying to get better at it. All right. Were you good at English?
Oh, I was great at English. English and science. Science and English was like my two top subjects. Like I couldn't fail in English or science. Like I didn't understand how you fail in English or science. It's easy. Math is hard. Science is easy though.
Okay. What are your ambitions for your writing career? Where you see this going?
I really want to get into TV and movies. Like ultimately, like I want to take my projects, my writing skills, and transfer them into Hollywood in a way. But I know that a lot of times that it's hard to get in the door because either you know somebody or somebody has to vouch for you. As far as like a major publisher, TV company, somebody major up top has to really vouch for you and really pull you into the door. A lot of times or sometimes like I'm doing it the hard way where I don't have those connections, so I'm trying to break a window and try to get in myself, And I really want to translate my writings and stories into cartoons, and then from cartoons into movies. You know what I'm saying? Like I would be dying to see my Aaron Jackson book on Netflix or Amazon, either way, as an animated series. It would be crazy.
Through that. All right. Which writers would you say inspire you?
writers that inspired me. Philip K. Dick. He's a sci-fi writer. He wrote Blade Runner and Minority Report. He wrote a whole host of sci-fi books. Walter Mosley, of course. What's his name? Ellis. Ralph, not Ralph Ellis, but Double Ellis. I think that's what his name is. I forget his name off the top of my head. But also J.K. Rowling. For some reason, I like her come up story because it showed me that, you know, she was down on her luck, and she basically got a Hail Mary, and her story basically was out the gate, and somebody liked it. A major publisher liked it out the gate, and she was on her luck. She was struggling. She was on welfare, and that just inspired. Like, that's just very inspiring because, you know, for a lot of us, we don't have the money. We don't come from families with money to put behind our projects. We have to really find a way into the industry, you know what I'm saying? And it's hard.
Okay. What genre did you say the book that you're promoting now? What genre is it?
It's action, adventure, and fantasy.
Okay. Give us some insight into your main character. What does he or she do that make it so special?
Yeah, man. The story is about this young black prince named Aphion, and basically he's raised on an island, this island kingdom named Malia, and basically he's real young. He's a sword fighter. He knows magic, and you know he goes to school. And his father is like the king, and he has a mother who's a queen. And basically he's there. He lives in a tribe of animal riders, and basically like they don't worship animals, but they bond with animals because of this magic artifact, and there's the stone that bonds with the animals at birth. So basically him and this lion named Nuba is raised from birth to be like joined. They're like telepathically linked. So during the course of the story we see like his formative years, like he's growing up, and then everything's cool, and then the island's attacked by this rogue nation of warriors, and they basically almost kill everybody. And even though they have the animals and they fight back, it's too much for them. So then Aphion loses his family, his friends, his whole way of life is like destroyed. And he's like only like 14 when this happens. And then we skip to where it's like 7 years later, and he's kind of reluctant to even be a prince anymore. So he's like really trying to find the meaning of life, but he wants revenge. But he doesn't want to be king. He just wants revenge. He's hell-bent on revenge, but in a way he doesn't want to be king because a lot of people that survived is depending on him. So he's like, during the course of the story, you see like his inner thoughts where he's saying to himself, why do I have to help these people all the time? He's like, he builds them back up. He's reluctant, but he builds them back up because he knows that's what his father wanted. You know what I'm saying? And he tries to find who took the stone. And these nations, these warriors from the other nation, they wanted the stone so bad. And during the course of the story, he's trying to figure out why they want the stone so bad, why they did all this, why they did all that. And then you'll see like the first story, he gets a big lead, and then it's on some grand adventure type craziness. It's great. It's a great book.
Okay. Could you see your character, the lead character, being cast in a movie, or rather your book being wrote to a movie, and if so, what actor would you like to see playing the lead character from your book?
It's hard because you have to have a young version of him and the older version of him. So right now, as far as the older version of him,
we can do it three ways. You can have three different actors.
You know what's funny? Off the top of my head, I really don't know who to pick as far as the older version of him because he's like 21 years old, and there's not many black actors out there other than Michael B. Jordan, I guess, right now. There's a few people coming up that I've seen, but Michael B. Jordan right now, he will be a good fit. He'll be a good fit to play him as far as you know, the main character. But as far as you could get somebody unknown too, you know.
Okay. I know it's sci-fi and maybe a little bit of fantasy. How would you go about researching? Do you do any research to write this particular book? Yeah, let's talk about this particular book. Do you have to do any research?
I did a little light reading as far as weaponry, because in their time period, they did. It's more right before the industrial age. It's like right before. It's like so they're kind of like in a pirate type area, so they have to deal with muskets, swords, magic. They're not in a science driven age right now. So it's kind of like on the cusp of that. So they deal with a lot of swords, a lot of handheld weapons, old antique guns, bullets, bombs. I research sword fighting a lot of times because it's a style of what they deal with. So they have to learn how to do sword fighting. So I did some light reading on that. Magic. As far as the magic goes, I had to make magic because I was like, you know what's funny? I don't want to bite anybody's idea. So I had to write my own independent magical language within the book itself. I had to make a backstory. I had to write a lore, to flesh it out. This actual lore in the magic and the learning. So when you read it, when the kids are reading it, they be like, wow, there's a lot of information in here, But I didn't want to pile too much in there right now, so it's like it's gonna expand as the book series goes on,
When did you decide to become a writer? The precise moment.
Oh man, wow. I've been writing for a long time. I've been writing since I was a kid. I've been writing. I started as poetry, then it went to rhymes, then it went to books, And I published my first book at like 20. When I was 20 years old, I published my first book. And I mean, I've been writing a long time, and sometimes the idea just hit me. I was sitting in my room one day, and I just was like, wow, this idea just hit me. Like, I woke up and I was like, I gotta write. And I got my laptop and I just started writing.
Huh? What made you decide to sit down and just start writing?
I don't know. The process is funny because it's like a lot of writers have different processes, but for me per se, it's not like, I'm going to sit here and write a book and it's going to automatically churn itself. Sometimes I could be sitting down doing something and then the idea strikes me. And when the idea strikes me, I sit down and then it comes out. Like this book, when I was writing it, the idea hit me and I just started writing it. Like the story, I seen it in my head. And I seen everything in my head, and I just started dictating what was happening. I was seeing it in my head, and I just was like, I gotta write this down. It was like I was watching a movie, but I was like a third person in the movie watching it, and I was like dictating what happened, And so, I mean, the process is crazy, My process is crazy. Like when I see it, I write it, A lot of times when people read it, they say, oh, it's so immersive, and I'm like, because I felt like I was there,
That's the best way to be. All right. You write full-time, part-time? Is it a hobby? What's going on? Career?
It's
life?
I want to make it a career, but it doesn't. It's hard. It's hard being a struggling writer because it doesn't pay the bills. For now. So I do have a regular 9-to-5 that I'm going for right now. So. It's a full. To me, it's a full-time thing. It's part-time, but it's full-time. You know what I'm saying? Like when I have my spare time, I write. But when I'm not writing, I'm at work or doing something else. For right now.
When you write, do you have like a certain amount of pages you try to reach, or a certain amount you write a day, or you got any limits?
I don't put any limits on it. I don't put any limits on writing because you know what's funny for me? When you put for me, when I put limits on writing, it blocks your best ideas. When you write and you're inspired to write, you're not supposed to put limits on yourself because if you put limits on yourself, I say you stop everything. It's a flow. It's a steady flow for me, or for other writers out there. It's a steady flow. You don't want to block the flow. If a person's like freestyling, you don't want to be like, yeah, I'm going to make this correction in my head. No. Freestyles are freestyle. Just freestyle it and just go off top the head. That's how I write. I write the exact same way.
I heard you mention you jump on the computer and start writing. I got a mouthful of food. I heard you jump on the computer and start writing. I was sitting there talking to my homeboy earlier about just handwritten stuff, longhand. When the last time you wrote something down on some paper?
Wow. When I didn't have a laptop. When I didn't have a laptop, I was like, what was it, 18, 19? I was writing it in like notebooks and text and stuff like that. But the minute I got my laptop, forget about it. I don't write longhand no more that way.
That's dangerous.
It hurts your hands. Like I'll be writing 10 pages by hand, and it's a hurt, and I'll be like, damn, my hand hurt.
It's to the point now where you don't even have to type on the computer. You just plug the microphone in, and you'd be like, whatever.
The microphone thing is so lazy, though.
Right, that's
the microphone thing is so lazy.
Right, this is dangerous to me. I see it coming a mile away. All right, check this.
I mean, they do have voice-to-type programs, but that's for, like, people who don't have hands or they're crippled in some ways. But if you have fully functional hands, you should be able to type. Typing is the best part, you know.
What's that thing named? Sirius? What's the thing that look up shit for you? Don't nobody want to hear that shit. Motherfuckers got 10 fingers, 10 toes. They still on the microphone talking about Sirius, look up something. All right, check this. Most of your ideas, I know you say you just dig down in your mental and pull them out. Is that where most of them come from? Especially your fantasy and your action adventures where you have to put yourself almost like you say literally on the scene and you see all these things happening. Is that where most of your ideas come from, or you got other places where ideas come from?
No, it's straight from the top of my head. Like basically when I'm writing and I see the idea, I see it in my head and I see it plain as day, and I try to write it as best as I can to paper. Because you know it's funny, when you write something on paper, you don't. People's interpretations when they read, it changes. Like one person could read something and see something else, and one person could read it and see something totally different. Like I try to write it as best as I can as I'm seeing it in my head. You know what I'm saying?
So when you're initially starting out, there's no outline or there's no plot or anything like that. You just straight off the head.
There's a general arc, like outline arc. There's a general outline and arc in my head. Like when I'm writing, like I'll write, bullet points down, and I try to focus on all the bullet points. But other than writing, it's an arc. It's like, okay, beginning, middle, and end. You know, that's it. There is an outline in my head, and I know exactly how it's supposed to go. You know, for me, I don't like to write too many outlines because it's like you know, for me, I just like organic. I'm very organic when it comes to writing. You know.
Okay. You ever get writer's block?
Yeah. There be times where I be writing and my mind goes blank, and I be like, damn. I don't see it. Like when I'm writing, and I'm like, it's boom, like it's blank. It's like a white screen in my head, and I don't see it at all. I'm like, damn. So I have to come back to it a day later, and then it comes back again. You know.
Okay. You ever thought about writing a book series? Yeah. I mean, Atheon Anubis is a book series. You know, the way it's set up, it's because it's a long story. It's a series because the first book is the starting point. So it's going to be a long book series. All right. Talking about technology, let's see what you at here. For your own reading, when you go to read, what do you prefer? E-books, traditional paper and hardback books, or which one would you prefer?
I like them all. I mean, I like a traditional book now and then. You know, if I see the book on the street and I see it in the bookstore, I'll pick it up. You know, it's not a problem. But, you know, when you're reading an e-book, your battery drains fast. Like, I'd be reading a book and it's, like, automatically at 50% power, and I'd be like, damn, I just started the book, though. You know, so a lot of times the original book is better to have because a physical copy is nothing like it. You can put it on your bookshelf, you can hold in your hands. It's physically there, you know what I'm saying? An e-book, it's not the same, you know.
Okay. You reading any books at the moment?
No. I tend not to read anything that could influence my mental. You know, for me, it's like when I'm writing, I don't want to ruin anything with when I'm writing. I don't want to have the residual idea of anywhere else's in my mind, So I try to isolate myself as best as possible. Even though there's books I do want to read, as far as there's the political book that came about Trump on the White House. I really want to read that, and I'm really trying to get around to reading that. And so I'm trying to buy it maybe after Christmas.
Yeah. All right. Do you proofread your book, your own book, and edit it? Who does all that?
Yeah, I have to proofread and edit it. I mean, I do go to Fiverr, like my Aaron Jackson book. I did go to Fiverr and I did get it edited from there, proofread and edited from there. But there was a huge mess of translation when the book got published, so I took it down off the website. So I'm gonna have to do it myself, and I have to read it over once, twice, maybe 3 times, just to make sure there's no inconsistencies, no run-on sentences, no missing apostrophes or spelling errors, just to make sure. It's very tedious,
Oh, indeed.
But it's cheaper.
Yeah. Tell us something about the artwork on the cover. I always find artwork on the covers of books interesting. Tell us a little something about Atheon, the cover of Atheon.
Well, basically, when me and the guy, Bo Books, was talking on Fiverr, and basically I was telling him my idea of the book to have him set in the jungle and basically be in a suit of armor with a sword. I was like, it didn't come out the way I wanted it to come out, but it came out great for the finished idea. I was like, I could work with this. You know what I'm saying? It's not bad for a physical manifestation of the book, even though it's not what I wanted per se. I was like, he did a great job for the time that he had it. So I'm like, I can't complain. It's good. A lot of people did like the cover. They like the outline, the green, and then the lion. And somebody said, "Is that a bear?" I was like, "That's a lion, fool." I was like, "How do you not see the mane on his forehead? It's a lion." It was hilarious though, but it came out good. I mean, I could always find other artists to draw my inspirations down on paper for me. As far as anything goes, I'm gonna come to do that later on down the line if it does start working off well. Depends. Because I want to put them on T-shirts, and I'm a very entrepreneurial person. So.
True indeed. Talking about entrepreneurial spirit, tongue twister for me. Who publishing your book? Is it indie, traditional? You got a publishing house? What's going on?
It's independent. It's on Amazon. Basically, Amazon has a create space service, and basically anybody can sign up for it and basically get their book published. You don't have to go to the majors no more. You don't have to get a book agent. You don't have to get an agent like that. Basically, if you could write a book and you could have it translated the right way as far as the margins go and uploaded the right way, you could just sign up for it and then get your book published. And basically, it's get the artwork done, and just basically they'll put it together and put it on an independent type of print press, and then basically you order the book. Boom, that's it.
Okay.
Only thing is that you're responsible for the marketing. That's the hard part. That is the hard part I'm having that a lot of independent writers are dealing with. The money. It's the money issues. They may have a great book, but the money issues is where it's a problem, because we don't have a machine. I don't have a machine behind me to push it. Like every time you go outside and you see an advertising, a billboard costs $15,000, $20,000. Advertising in the subway is $40,000. I mean, these prices are ridiculous as far as advertising and marketing goes. You really have to beat grassroots out here. You know what I'm saying? You have to have flyers. You have to go out to the streets. You have to have a street team. That costs money too,
Okay. Based off all of that, what kind of advice would you give an upcoming author on how to market their books?
Man, just have a nest egg. Go online. Market the book wisely, because the money is really necessary to push the book. If your book is good, it'll stand out regardless. But You need a general awareness, a general buzz. So I would go to Fiverr, go to Fiverr.com, look around there, see about marketing, see about artists. Check your local areas. Like right now, I'm trying to donate to schools. So anybody who, I'm trying to donate to kids' schools. And it's hard because I don't find any more book drives, and everything is ordered from their people. It's very solidified. And I'm trying to break the door where I'm trying to have kids to read, and I want to donate books to inner city kids because they don't have growing up, the worst thing is going to the library inside the school and finding books, and it's nothing but just boring-ass characters or boring-ass stories written by these white, frumpy old men who live in, and as a black guy, as a black man growing up, it kind of dawned on me when I was a kid. Right now, looking back, I'm like, why didn't we have black heroes growing up? Black superheroes. We didn't have that. And I want to change the paradigm. I want to change it. I want kids, when they wake up or when they go to school or when they talk to their friends, they be like, oh man, did you see that? Did you see that book, man? You see that comic book, man? That guy is he's so fly, son. And I want to change that. I want to change it. I think now is the time to change it because we had Harry Potter, we had Artemis Fowl, we had the aquatic guy. I mean, we need characters that our kids can relate to as well, And I'm not knocking those authors for having those characters. They did a great job, but they need to have room for others. Like when you go to, what's the worst thing? When you went to the bookstore and you went to Barnes & Nobles and you're looking for black books, they put the black books in the back section so where it's out of sight, nobody sees it, and it's not even on the front window. You know what I'm saying? And it's very discouraging. It was very discouraging to know that, But now that the Internet's here, the market's wide open,
Indeed. What part of your writing time do you devote to marketing your book?
Say again?
Like time that you can devote to writing. How much of that time do you devote to marketing your book?
The minute you're done, the minute I'm done with the book, boom, I have to figure out a way to market it. I have to figure out a way to get on Twitter, Facebook. Now I'm on Instagram. I was like before my Aaron Jackson book, my second book, I kind of really didn't push hard enough, but because I'm like, a lot of people was saying that it has inconsistencies, there's a lot of errors. I was kind of like, I laid back. Even though it was a good story, I was kind of like, I held back on marketing and as reaching out. But right now, on this book, like I'm calling up schools. I just donated a grip of books to this program in Africa. They deal in books donations to kids over there. I'm on Instagram right now. I have a marketing pusher who's helping me, who's helping my page push the marketing towards people that is going to buy it tomorrow. I'm on Twitter. I've been there every day letting people know the book is coming out. Pick it up for your kids, your teens. And I've been getting a lot of good, positive feedback. But I won't know anything until tomorrow.
Any questions for book reviews?
As far as what? Explain.
Just saying, to get a book review. Somebody reviewing your book.
I mean, if they want to review it, I love that. I love when people review my book. I have no problem. Amazon, basically go on Amazon, read the book, review it, and basically leave what you think is appropriate, 1 to 5 stars. The more you review it, the more the book becomes visible. So I crave reviews. I crave reviews more than anything. You know what I'm saying? Sales is great, but I crave reviews because then you see the people who have an opinion, and the people's opinions are the focal point. You know what I'm saying? Like you can have a crappy book selling 1 million copies, and the book is crappy. But if you have a book that sells 500,000 copies, but everybody loves it and is a critical hit, that's what you should be aiming for. And that's what I'm aiming for right now. You know what I'm saying?
Do that. All right, I heard you mention doing some marketing on social media. Which social network has worked best for you so far?
Facebook has been great. Facebook has been good, but it's not the same no more for some reason. It's like when you try to market on Facebook, it doesn't hit the right people. Instagram has been pretty solid. Instagram has been pretty solid as far as the marketing push and go, because it's not the same as Facebook, but you do see a lot of people liking your page and everything else, but not a lot of comments. It's funny because people like it, but they don't leave comments, so it's very irksome. I don't like the idea. Like, you should leave, if you like it, you should leave a comment. I usually leave comments on like stuff I like.
Is there any marketing technique that you have used that has had an immediate impact on yourself?
Not that I know of right now, as far as marketing goes, because I'm a novice in marketing a lot of times. I'm really not really well versed in marketing. I don't have a PR firm behind me. I don't have a machine behind me. So everything I'm doing basically just the idea that I'm calling up people. I'm verbally talking to them. Like, I'm calling up people, I'm verbally talking to them, trying to get them to buy the book or see if I could do like a donation, and I'm just trying to really grassroots push it, Like I said, I don't have a machine behind me, so I have to do everything by hand, I have to make banners, flyers. I have to go out there and go on the streets and hand out flyers and stuff like that, That's the next step. That's what I'm trying to do next week.
One of the questions I was asking about book reviews, I would suggest that you try to secure some book reviews. Wherever these big publishing houses or whoever important reading books, and they give you the credit of approval and you start selling, right? Try to get you some type of book reviews. Get the local newspaper to write about you. You just released the book, and you need them to to put it out there. They're pretty.
Yeah, I actually had a lady that I met who actually made a press release for me, and she's working on it right now. And she has a whole bunch of like newspapers and other media organizations. She's going to hand that to them. You know what I'm saying?
Check this.
I have
what do you think about trailers? Trailers for books. You ever heard of that?
Trailers for books, yes, I did. I actually have an Aaron Jackson trailer that is actually on my Facebook page that I did do, but it does cost money. So you have to get the voice actor, you have to get the letter guy. It's very time consuming because I had to write a script for it. The first time I did it, and it did cost me a lot of money. So right now I'm trying to look at my budget and trying to see how much I can spend on this without breaking my bank. You know what I'm saying? Because it eats your wallet. The marketing part eats your wallet. So you have to realize, like, damn, if I have a trailer, you get like basically I was cruising Tariq's Nasheed website to see, he does Tariq Radio. So I was seeing, okay, he has an actual commercial page. And it's basically $200. So I'm like, that's not bad. But you got to add in the cost on other things. You got to add in the cost on the voice actor. You got to add in the cost on the graphics guy. You got to do other stuff. You know what I'm saying? And it's not easy.
True indeed. All right. What's your favorite motivational phrase, Norman?
I don't even have one. I don't have a motivational phase. I'm just out the door and doing it. If I could do it, I'll do it. If I can, I will do it. I'm just out the door. I don't have a motivational phase. I don't have a phrase or nothing like that.
Phrase, not phase.
Yeah,
phrase.
I mean, that's what I meant. I don't have a phrase. I just go out the door and try to do it as best as I can.
Let me try to reword to see if I can get some. What's your favorite positive saying?
Positive saying. That's a hard one. Yeah.
You're supposed to have a saying like that you say every day that you're known for. I read that somewhere before, and it's so true.
Like a mantra. Mantra. Yeah. Usually I just say to myself, like when I wake up, I'm like, okay, time to get up, time to go get it. That's it. That's all I have. So I say that. I say that a lot. Time to get up, time to go get it.
Okay. What's your favorite book and why?
My favorite book and why? Wow, my favorite book and why? I'm trying to remember this book I read when I was a kid, but on top of my head, I don't know. I totally forgot about it. I liked a lot of. When I was a kid, I used to read. I had this book. I had this Dr. Seuss book, Green Eggs and Ham. You remember that, right?
Yeah.
that was my favorite as growing up.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's your favorite movie?
Oh man, I could talk about movies all day. I love movies. I have a lot of favorite movies. I like the first Ninja Turtles movie, the first Ghostbusters 1 and 2, but my top, if it got to be on top of my head, Aliens. Aliens, that was off the chain. Even today, it holds up. If you watch it today, it still holds up. The action, the story, the suspense, the characters, everything still holds up as far as that movie goes. Like, you cannot watch that movie, you know.
All right, check this. If you could have been the original author of any book, what would it have been?
That's hard.
That was right. I'd say the Bible. That's what I'd personally say.
The Bible. Wow. Wow, the Bible. That's a hard one. I don't know. I honestly don't know because there's a lot of great books out there, but I figure if you write their story, then it's not going to be the same. You know what I'm saying? So I try not to even think about that.
Okay. What advice would you give to aspiring writers?
Man, just go out there and get it. Just I know because for me, I got a lot of responsibilities as far as my household goes. I live with my family, so it's like for me, I'm trying to like focus on the book thing and work thing, and it's hard to do both because you got financial obligations at home, and so they take precedent over everything. And you got a family drama where you're trying to like focus on your book, and then you have people who don't believe in you, and it's hard. It's hard. It's very hard. I know it's hard because every day I wake up and I'm writing this book, and I be like asking my family, I'm like, yo, you gonna read? You gonna buy my book? You gonna read it? I'll give you a copy. Because you expect your family to be your best critics. You expect them to read your stuff, to be most enthusiastic about your goals in life. And it sucks because, a lot of families are not like that, They're not outwardly like that at all. You have like one or two people that's excited. The rest of them is like blah, whatever. So my advice to writers coming up is just go out and get it and just write. Screw the critics, screw the publishers. If you can't get a book agent or a book deal, you don't need a book deal, you don't need a book agent. If you want to write, you just write, but try to write the best book you can, and try to stretch your legs on other genres too,
Okay. Let the listeners know where they can discover more about you and your work, Norman.
All right, look. All right. Okay. They could contact me anytime. I'm on. If they have any places where they want me to donate books to inner city kids, or if you're having book drives or anything like that, you can hit me up on colsonnorman@gmail.com. Follow me on Twitter at Norman R. Colson, Facebook Norman R. Colson, and Instagram Norman Colson Official. And I respond to whoever's out there who needs a book or who wants a book, who wants to buy a book. Go to Amazon Kindle, and type in Afion Anuba, and it should pop right up. I'll send them the link if they want the link if they want to buy the books for their kids. I'll gladly send them the link so they can buy it for their kids. It's a great book as far as in teens and kids areas, within that age demographic,
Okay. All right, Mr. Norman Colson, is there anything else you would like to add or any last shout-outs?
Yeah. I wanted to shout out to Kali in case they're listening. A lot of them, they know who they are. Also, my friends, the coworkers at TSA where I used to work. If they're listening, I missed him very much, as far as like not seeing him every day. But things change, and my family, I guess, my moms, my brothers, my cousins, Alicia and Shakina, Naja, Orna, man. I missed them a lot. And that's it, I guess.
You guess sound like you might be missing somebody.
I mean, like who? Who I missing? The man upstairs. He knows. He knows I mean him.
Okay. With that being said, Norman, we want to thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to kick it with us here on RapMonsterRadio.com. And until next time, we'll holla. Peace.